The Ninjago Core line released in January of 2022. Core was a bit controversial among fans because it was very different from every other previous Ninjago wave. You see, every previous Ninjago set was made to tie into the show, either the current show or previous seasons. And while there may have occasionally been sets that didn't make it to air, they were still clearly based on the same exact season. Core was very different though. Core wasn't canon to the show and was made for a younger audience as a starting point to help them get into Ninjago. And while this did seem like a new thing to Ninjago fans, that's not entirely true. In fact, there was one set previously which I think may have even inspired the entire Core sub-theme. This is set 10725, Lost Temple from the LEGO Juniors line in 2016. This set actually contains all of the same elements that Ninjago Core does. There's non-canon ninja suits, non-canon vehicle and dragon builds, non-canon serpentine with corresponding vehicles, and the set was also targeted towards a younger audience, and even featured illustrations in the instructions exactly the same way Core does today. But is the set itself any good? Well, let's take a look at it up a little bit closer. Super quick though, before we do that, I want to take a moment to ask you guys to all like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know, it's a little cringe to be doing all this, but only 20% of my audience is actually subscribed. So if you like these videos and you want to see more like them, by liking the video and subscribing to the channel, it'll help support me so that I can make more, and will also help put the videos in your feed as soon as they're posted. And if you really want to, become a YouTube member by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. You get a lot of cool perks such as custom emotes in my live streams and comments, access to the exclusive Bricks by Mine Discord server, and sneak peeks to upcoming videos. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, become a YouTube member today. But now, let's get back to the video. So we'll start with the main build of this set, the actual Lost Temple. And this isn't much of an actual temple, but it is a very fun play set. This is exactly the kind of thing I would make with my own bricks as a kid, because I didn't have a ton of fun building parts. So I'd use the few parts that I had, I'd put them on a base plate, and I'd try to make some sort of obstacle course, sort of like this. So it's really cool seeing that actually represented in a set. Does it look objectively good? No, it's very simple and basic. But do I think kids would have fun with this? Yes, 100%. You can see we start this round, flat platform right here, and the idea is you'd have your character jump on these different blocks to get to the very end. On the way, you'll encounter these spinning blades that'll get in your way. So for example, the ninja stops here, then he gets knocked over. And there's also an axe that can come down in the back right here. So I think the idea behind the play feature is to imagine the characters like jumping over the obstacles as they're going through. There's also this ramped platform to the side where you're supposed to set this rock on top. That can be pushed over once again to knock into the ninja. But also if you crack it open, it sort of explodes, dropping these 3-cylinder pieces. You can see there's also a few bits of fire all throughout. It's built on top of this printed base plate which has this sort of lava-like design with like some stone bricks. That does look very cool. I would love to see that kind of stuff in more like 4+ sets nowadays. And then you have the actual Lost Temple at the back. This, once again, is a giant printed piece. Some really cool designs going on. I like these golden dragons that are breathing fire. There's like this dragon door knocker design right here, and then a little banner on the other side. And the top of the temple is also very basic, but this circular piece right here is also printed, which is another really cool part to get it, and I feel like that could be useful for customs and whatnot. And then, of course, there's the 2 double doors, which could be swung open. And then you can see inside there is where the Sword of Fire is kept. What is the Sword of Fire doing here? I have absolutely no idea. But the Sword of Fire is obviously a very cool part. While it does come in a lot of 4+ junior sets nowadays, at the time it was a little more uncommon. And I know for like young kids getting this set, that probably would have been very exciting to get like such a significant weapon. The set also comes as a little lightning dragon for Jay. And this guy is super goofy and very simple. The trans blue blades for the wings though are pretty amazing parts. And the printed face piece is pretty cool too and like surprisingly very detailed. And the lightning piece being shot out is a nice touch too. Again, it's just a cool part for kids to get. But there's not much else to it. The wings are connected on like these more rigid joints, but they can still like flap up and down. The head's on like a Mixel's mini ball joint. Tail is on the same, by the way. I really love this color combination on the tail. The piece itself's not new, but I believe the color combination for this was new in this set, and I don't know if it's coming in any other sets of that color. But no, it actually works really well, and I feel like it's a very unique part. And obviously it's got the rubber on the very end. I actually like that a lot. And then the body of the dragon actually has room for 1, maybe 2 characters to sit. Yep, despite how small this guy is, you could actually fit both Jay and Lloyd on there. Very nice to see. While we're at it, let's take a look at the ninja minifigures. They're nothing all too special. No new parts used here, they just use rebooted torsos with their ZX hoods. But just like Ninjago Core, it does the whole thing of like giving the vibes of Ninjago while not being specifically from any one era of Ninjago. Lloyd's color combination's a bit wacky here because he has the golden torso and then the silver on his hood, but then he's got the same stern face print underneath. The colors of Jay though actually work a little bit nicer. And of course he still had his original face at this time. And then we come to the best build in the set, the Snake Helicopter. Now the base of this build is this larger helicopter body piece that was designed for junior sets. It's still being used in 4+ sets to this day, but you can see it was colored in lime green green here, and then there was just some extra snake detailing added on top. Windscreen out the very front, little teeth pieces coming down. That opens up, you can see there's some dials inside. There's also room to fit one figure in the pilot seat and maybe one figure in the back. Speaking of the back, that's on a hinge that can be opened up, so that way you could store cargo or a prisoner or something in there. Propeller at the top is very simple, but once again, I love those trans green blade pieces. Very similar to the blue ones on the Dragon, but they're just a lot of fun. Big transparent pieces I just really love, so they're very nice to see here. Somewhat of a snake tail design coming out the back of the helicopter, which is obviously very thematic. Some teeth out the very back just to add a little bit of extra detail, and then there's this little claw on a chain which hangs down. And I guess the idea with that is you'd have this flag to the air and like come down, pick up a character, and pull it back up. And you can see you could actually have it grab a hold of a character pretty easily. But now we come to one of my favorite Ninjago minifigures of all time. This is Snake Villain. You may have heard him in the past called Zoltar, but that's not his name. The name Zoltar came from a Ninjago novel which wasn't canon, but it just happened to come out around a similar time to this set, and in that novel there was a Venomari serpentine character named Zoltar. However, if you read the description of Zoltar and then look at this minifigure, they're not the same at all. People were just trying to draw a connection where there was none. No, Zoltar has never been seen in any LEGO sets. This is just a generic character simply referred to as Snake Villain. And that is part of the reason why this reminds me so much of Ninjago Core. Because Core, while the snake villains did have names, they were just non-canon, made up for the sets. And that's exactly what this guy was. He had never appeared in the show up to the point where this set came out, and 6 years later to this day he has still never appeared. He has the colors of the Venomari, but his head shape doesn't match any of them. Rather, that's an Anaconda head. And then he's also got this orange armor design, which is also seen on the Juniors Lasha figure, but it's not seen on any of the canon snakes, and sort of matches with the Sky Pirates, which were also released as a part of the same wave as this guy. So as such, I think he just has a really cool design, and the fact that there is no story behind him I feel like leads to so much creativity. Kids playing with the set could come up with any backstory they wanted for this guy. There was no source material to work from, and I think that's really fun. It's so rare that we get non-canon characters like this, and I think this one might have been our first. So as such, he has a very special place in my collection, and I think he's just an awesome minifigure all around. Both conceptually and in terms of design. I mean, just come on, look at him, he looks amazing. I think it's safe to say I am probably the #1 Snake Villain fan in the entire world. So, what did you think of this set? Do you think it actually was the inspiration for Ninjago Core, or is this all just a big coincidence? Would you like to see more sets like this? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I love this set and I would love to see more. I think the biggest thing holding Core back right now is the lack of villain variety, but I do love the idea of simpler non-canon sets, and I think the set does that perfectly. But of course, those are just my thoughts. You guys have to let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see another like it, go check out my video on the original Ninjago Legacy, as it's a very similar video to this one, and I think you'll really enjoy it. But as for this video, I think that's about gonna do it. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, please just like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos just like this one almost every day, so if you subscribe, be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!